He touched her face like she was fragile starlight. She laughed at the gesture, unsure of what it meant until his lips brushed hers, and the stars themselves seemed to gasp. On her planet, love had no such language. But tonight, under the twin moons, a forbidden lesson was about to begin. He shouldn't have been there. The royal garden was restricted after twilight, especially to outsiders. Yet Commander Elian Stone moved through the silver-glowing flora as if drawn by something ancient and instinctive. His steps were soft but certain, and every few seconds, he glanced upward at the crystalline towers that shimmered like frozen lightning against the velvet sky. She was already there. Princess Zyrea stood barefoot at the edge of a water mirror, her pale blue skin glowing with bioluminescent traces that pulsed to the rhythm of her calm breath. Her long, silver hair shimmered like a comet's tail. She heard his steps before she turned, but didn't flinch. "You walk boldly, Earthman," she said, her voice melodic but sharp. "Have you no fear of trespass?" Elian offered a slight bow. "Only fear of missing this moment." She raised a delicate eyebrow. "Is that your charm at work, or your politics?" "Neither. Just honesty." A pause hung between them, filled only by the soft chiming of wind through Evalari trees. "Your people," she began, looking back at the water, "are ruled by chaos, by passions that burn and blind. We're taught to master those. To rise above them. You don't believe that." She turned slowly, studying him. "What makes you think I don't?" "Because you're here. Meeting me. Alone." A slight twitch curved her lips. "Curiosity is not weakness." "No," Elian replied, stepping closer, "but denying your heart might be." Her eyes narrowed. "Earth customs speak much of this, heart. You treat it as more than an organ." "We do. Because sometimes, it makes decisions our minds can't." She considered this. "And you trust such decisions?" "Sometimes, they lead to the best things in our lives." A silence followed, heavier now, loaded with unspoken questions. The breeze picked up, brushing a strand of her hair across her cheek. Without thinking, Elian reached out and tucked it gently behind her pointed ear. She froze. Her breath hitched. "What are you doing?" "Nothing, that would harm you. We don't touch like that here. We don't kiss. It's primitive. But you wonder what it feels like." The color in her skin deepened slightly, a natural Evalari flush. "Even if I did," she said, tilting her head with a defiant spark, "how would I know it's real? That it means anything?" "Because," Elian said softly, "it means something to me." That left her silent. Elian took a step back. "I didn't come here to make you uncomfortable. I came to understand. And maybe let you understand us too. You believe a kiss explains your entire culture?" "No. But it's a start." The princess turned away again. Her reflection stared back from the water, twin moons haloing her face. "You intrigue me, human," she whispered. "Your presence, your contradictions. We study thousands of species, but yours, it doesn't fit. Maybe we're not meant to fit. Maybe we're meant to change what doesn't." She looked back. This time, her expression had softened. "Then show me." He blinked. "What?" "This. Kiss. Show me what it is you value so highly." "Zyrea, are you sure?" She stepped closer, eyes locked on his. "I don't know what I am. But I want to feel something that isn't calculated." Elian hesitated. The stars above blinked like curious witnesses. His fingers brushed her cheek again, slower this time. She didn't flinch. Her breath deepened. And then, with a reverence that felt almost sacred, he pressed his lips to hers. It was soft. Barely a whisper. But Zyrea's entire body responded, a strange warmth blooming inside her chest, an involuntary tremble in her fingers. When he pulled back, her eyes were wide. She looked, disoriented. Alive. "That," she said, almost breathless, "is dangerous. Only if you want it to be." Before she could answer, a mechanical hum split the air. Zyrea's head snapped up. "No." A red dot flared on Elian's chest. "Surveillance. We have to go," she whispered. "Now." Elian didn't ask why. He just grabbed her hand, and to his surprise, she didn't pull away. Behind them, Hidden speakers cracked to life with an imperial tone. Ambassador Elian Stone. You are in violation of Evilari royal law. Do not move. But they were already running. The kiss had started something. And neither of them could stop it now. The crystal corridors echoed with alarms as Elian and Zyrea ran, hand in hand, through the forbidden northern wing of the palace. The royal surveillance systems tracked their every step, but Zyrea knew these halls better than the computers did. She veered suddenly, yanking him down a narrow side passage obscured by a waterfall of light. The sensors flickered, confused. Here, she whispered, breathless, leading him through a shimmering archway of folded dimensions. The space shifted behind them, hiding the entrance like it had never existed. They collapsed into darkness, breathing heavily, only the soft glow of her skin illuminating the space. Elian was the first to speak. What was that place? A dimensional veil. Ancient tech from before the Great Alignment. My ancestors hid it to escape palace surveillance. Few even remember it exists. Do they know what we did? She hesitated. They know we touched. That I let you kiss me. And that I didn't stop it. Silence stretched. Elian looked at her, trying to read her eyes in the low glow. Do you regret it? Her gaze didn't waver. No. He moved closer, reaching for her hand again. This time, she took his fingers willingly. You felt it too, he whispered. Didn't you? I don't even know what it was, she said. But it cracked something inside me. And now, I can't stop the pieces from shifting. Her voice trembled, just slightly. For a princess trained to master every emotion, it was a confession louder than a scream. Suddenly, a soft hum vibrated through the floor beneath them. Zyrea stiffened. They activated the memory locks, she said. My father will try to erase the moment from my mind. They think I'm still in the palace network. Erase your memory? You're serious? Feelings are destabilizing. Especially for someone with my lineage. They will believe it's for my own good. Then we can't stay here. She nodded. There is a rebel outpost outside the Skyfields. They don't serve the royal grid. If we can reach it, I can block the purge. He gripped her hand. Then lead the way. The escape was harrowing. Zyrea disguised them both with illusion tech, her royal signature erased, Elian's human features blurred. They passed guard drones, antigrave patrols, even memory harvesters drifting like ghosts through the towers. Along the way, Elian asked, how did your people lose this emotion? The need for touch. She kept her eyes ahead as they moved. It was chosen. After the Unity War, emotion was blamed for the bloodshed. Our ancestors altered the genome, silencing the neural patterns linked to affection, physical bonding, and unquantifiable connection. But that wasn't permanent. Not for you. Apparently not, she said softly. Or maybe you reactivated something. I don't know. They reached the outer city ring. Zyrea placed her palm on an invisible pad embedded in a rock face. A door opened in silence, revealing a tunnel lit by living veins of purple crystal. Inside the rebel base, it was colder. Raw. The walls weren't polished. Everything buzzed with life and defiance. A tall, cloaked figure approached. Princess Zyrea, the voice crackled, mechanical. We never thought we'd see you here. I need sanctuary, she said. And a memory shield. Immediately. The figure nodded. Follow me. Elian stayed close as they walked deeper into the chambers. The rebels, mostly outcast scientists and forgotten warriors, stared at them in shock. A few whispered. Some bowed. Most simply watched, wary. In a small chamber, they sat side by side while the memory shielding device was activated. Close your eyes, the technician said. This will hurt. Zyrea didn't flinch. She reached blindly for Elian's hand as the pulse began. Her body arched. A strangled sound escaped her lips. Elian held on, anchoring her. When it ended, her body sagged against him. Her skin dimmed, breath shallow. But her eyes opened, wide and aware. It worked, she whispered. They can't erase it now. Hours passed in tense silence. Then, Zyrea spoke again, sitting up slowly. There's something else you need to know. When you kissed me, It wasn't just emotional. There was a neurological surge. The rebels scanned it. Your human DNA triggered dormant receptors in me. In all Evolari. Elian stared. What does that mean? It means, we were never meant to stay numb forever. The programming was suppressive, not destructive. And your species' emotional coding, it interacts with ours. Are you saying? You might be the key to reversing it. Before he could respond, a shrill alarm echoed through the chambers. Incoming royal fleet, someone shouted. They tracked her. Zyrea rose. They want to make an example of me. And you. Then we fight. Or we run. Running won't save us forever. Just then, another figure entered the room, a rebel scientist with wide eyes. There is one way. We have a genetic amplifier. If she consents, Zyrea can broadcast the awakened signal to every Evolari. It could undo the suppression in all of them. But it would expose me, she said. I'd become the symbol of rebellion. The Empire would hunt me until the end of time. Elian stepped forward. You don't have to do this. Don't I? She whispered. If love has returned to us, shouldn't I be the first to embrace it? He touched her cheek, as he had that first time. She leaned into it. Then I'll be by your side, he said. Whatever comes. Zyrea looked into his eyes. Then kiss me again. Before we change the world. He did. And behind them, the machine began to hum. But above, far beyond the stars, Earth ships had just entered Evolari space. Not for love. Not for peace. They had come prepared for war. The moment Zyrea kissed Elian, the genetic amplifier lit up like a newborn star. Tendrils of bioluminescent energy wrapped around her body, lifting her gently into the air as the machine pulsed to life. Her eyes glowed white-blue, her skin shimmered, and the chamber filled with a low, harmonic hum that resonated through every wall, every stone, every being. The rebels watched in stunned silence. Elian stood just beneath her, one hand extended upward, as if ready to catch her should the machine fail. But this wasn't failure. This was transformation. Across Evolari, something rippled. Invisible to the eye, but felt deep within. In the royal gardens, guards paused mid-step, hands to their chests as an unfamiliar warmth bloomed inside them. In the city's crystalline towers, clerks dropped pens, eyes widening as memories long buried flickered to life. Children clung to parents instinctively. Lovers reached for each other without knowing why. The Evolari had begun to feel again. Zyrea floated down slowly, her breath shallow but steady. Elian caught her. Her body trembled with exhaustion, but her eyes never left his. You did it, he whispered. We did, she corrected, her voice hoarse. But the celebration was brief. Alarms wailed again, this time deeper, closer. A rebel soldier burst in. They've breached the canyon. The Royal Elite Guard is descending. And the Earthships have landed. They're not friendly. Elian turned sharply. What? We came here for peace talks. Why would Earth attack? Because your fleet wasn't sent by your people, the rebel scientist said grimly. It was intercepted. These ships bear Earth markings, but they're not official. Mercenary fleet. Likely hired by royalists. They want war to erase the change we've started, Zyrea murmured. Then we can't stay here, Elian said. We need to get you somewhere safe. No, she said, standing shakily. We need to finish what we've begun. Elian looked at her, unsure. She was radiant even in exhaustion, a fire had ignited in her spirit. And he loved her more in that moment than he ever thought possible. They emerged from the chamber to chaos. The rebels were evacuating, loading data cores, evacuating the injured. Explosions rumbled in the distance. Elian led Zyrea to a stealth skimmer, an old diplomatic vessel once meant for negotiations, now fitted with jammers and cloaking tech. They launched into the crimson sky just as the outpost collapsed behind them. As they flew, Zyrea stared down at her world. My people are changing, but they need proof. They need to see it with their own eyes. Then we'll give them that, Elian said. Where's the one place they can all witness it? The Heartspire, she answered. The ancient tower. Every Evolari can access its broadcast. Then that's where we're going. Their journey across the planet was perilous. The skies were patrolled, airways closed. Storms formed around energy cores destabilized by the amplifier. Still, they moved like whispers, guided by rebels, cloaked in the pulse of purpose. During one quiet night, as they hovered above a mirror lake cloaked in fog, Zyrea stood with Elian in the cockpit. "What happens if this fails?" she asked softly. "Then we try again. Or we die trying. But we don't stop." She turned to him. "You've changed everything, Elian. Not just our biology, but me. I feel now, in every breath. Joy. Fear. Longing. I used to be a statue in the shape of a woman. Now I'm alive." He reached for her, pulling her close. "And you're the most beautiful thing I've ever known." They kissed again, slower this time. No urgency. Just the quiet understanding that they might not have many more. At dawn, the heart spire appeared on the horizon. Towering into the clouds, built from living crystal, it pulsed faintly as if sensing their arrival. They landed on its upper platform, where once treaties were signed and kings crowned. Now, two fugitives stood beneath its glowing arch. Zyrea stepped into the activation ring. Elian stood by her side. "Are you ready?" he asked. "No. But I must be." She touched the spire. It responded instantly, awakening with a deep, harmonic vibration. Holograms flared to life. Across the planet, Evalari stopped. Every screen, every comlink, every interface displayed her image. She began to speak. "Not like a queen. Not like a rebel. Like a woman in love. To my people. I was born into a world without touch. Without warmth. We taught ourselves that love was weakness. That connection was chaos. But today, I stand here changed. I have felt something sacred." Her voice cracked. It was not chaos. It was clarity. And if we are to survive as more than machines in flesh, we must feel again. She looked at Elian. "This human showed me how. Not with force. Not with war. But with kindness. With a kiss." Around the world, Evalari cried for the first time in generations. But then a scream. A flash of light. Zyrea collapsed. Elian turned just in time to see a royal agent, camouflaged, withdrawing a plasma blade. Elian tackled him, disarmed him, but it was too late. Zyrea bled blue. He dropped to his knees, cradling her. "No. No, stay with me." She smiled weakly. "It's okay." They heard. They felt. "I see it, even now /. You can't leave me." She touched his lips. "You gave me life. That will never leave you." And then, she was still. The spire flickered, then surged. A final signal pulsed out across the world. A wave of raw, emotional clarity. And Zyrea's image remained. Eternal. Smiling. A martyr of love. Elian sat there for hours, holding her. The sun rose twice. He didn't speak. He didn't move. Until a single message buzzed at his side. A location. From a frequency only she could have used. And the words. *, come find me, where the stars still blush. *. The message repeated once, then faded into silence. Elian stood alone on the Heartspire platform, the wind whispering like her voice against his ears. He clutched the small communicator still displaying the cryptic words, *, come find me, where the stars still blush. *. He replayed her final moments over and over. Her body had gone cold in his arms. There had been no pulse, no breath, and the royal agent who'd struck her had vanished before the rebels arrived. They confirmed what he already knew, Zyrea was dead. And yet, the message came. On her frequency. With her encryption. Hope, reckless and irrational, bloomed inside him. 2 days later, Elian boarded a stolen interstellar craft. Alone. The coordinates embedded in the message pointed beyond Evalari space, past the mapped systems, into the veiled quadrant, a place no human had ever returned from. He didn't care. Zyrea had changed his world. Now he would risk everything to find hers. The journey took weeks. He passed through plasma storms, navigated collapsed wormholes, and survived a standoff with scavenger drones that mistook his ship for a drifting relic. The final leg brought him to a dead system, 6 planets orbiting a silent white dwarf. The third planet was wrapped in auroras. A thin pink atmosphere shimmered like a constant sunrise. The stars were blushing. His heart thundered. He descended. The planet was quiet, untouched. No cities. No signals. Just fields of violet grass and trees that sang in low harmonics. As he stepped onto the surface, his HUD blinked, oxygen-rich. No armor needed. And then he saw it. A structure. Not a building, an organic formation that resembled Evolari design, but older. Wilder. Grown from the ground like it belonged there. At its center, a stone arch pulsed softly. He approached. "Zyrea," he whispered. The arch lit up. A voice echoed in the air, not a recording. Not artificial. Her voice. "You found me." His breath caught. "How how are you alive?" "I wasn't. Not fully." But the amplifier, it did more than awaken emotion. It activated a failsafe. A backup embedded in my lineage for millennia. A backup. A quantum imprint. When my heart stopped, my essence was preserved. Not my body, but something more. Elian fell to his knees, hands trembling. "But you're not here." "Not really. Not yet," she said. "But you are. And your presence completes the loop." From the center of the arch, light poured outward. It enveloped him. He felt everything, her memories, her pain, her longing, her final thoughts. And then, a warmth that nearly shattered him. "Elian," she whispered. "You taught me to feel. Now I will teach you to believe." The light surged. His body floated. Every cell pulsed with memory, DNA folding, reshaping. Pain shot through his limbs, and then she appeared. Her form grew from light beside him. At first, translucent. Then denser. Real. Her feet touched the ground. Her breath hitched. Elian reached for her. "Zyrea." She looked up. Eyes wet with emotion. "I remember dying. I remember you holding me. And I remember the stars, blushing." He took her in his arms. This time, she was solid. Warm. Alive. They stood there, silent, clinging to each other beneath a sky lit with colors no human had named. "What now?" he asked. "We go back," she said. "Not to rule. Not to hide. But to show them what's possible. They may not accept it." She smiled. "They don't have to. Love is a rebellion that spreads without permission." When they returned to Evolari, months had passed. The Empire had changed. Slowly, but irrevocably. Children hugged. Elders cried. Touch was no longer feared. And at the heart of it, her image remained. Until one day, she walked through the capital gates. In the flesh. The people bowed. But she shook her head. No more thrones. No more chains. Only truth. And choice. Beside her, Elian took her hand. No fanfare. No decree. Just a kiss. And the stars blushed again. Years later, legends spoke of a princess who died and rose again. Of a human who crossed galaxies for a kiss. Of a love that rewrote a species. They said it was a fairy tale. But the stars still blush at sunset on Evolari. And sometimes, when the wind is soft, you can hear her laughter. And feel his hand, reaching gently for hers.